I'm going to take you through setting up the Holden 308-304 low-mount alternator bracket. Now, the way we've got this set up is that you're going to use these M10 cap screws. They're going to go through the front plate, they're going to mount into the back plate, and then the whole assembly will mount onto the engine. So first things first, a little bit of anti-seize. Grab one of your long spacers. All the long spacers are the same length, they'll do the same job. We can get that one in, get it started. Now you'll follow these steps, you'll do the three holes except for the alternator hole. That will go last and that will go on the engine. Now it's important once you're doing these up, don't do them all the way tight for now. And just make sure that you've got a ball end Allen key or a tight fit Allen key that later on you'll be able to get in through this gap here and tighten up this 3/8 socket head cap screw. As long as you've got that clearance, then you can do what we're doing now. Otherwise you'll assemble all this on the engine. So once you've got these three cap screws in, you can then get ready to place in your 3/8 cap screws, and then that's going to mount straight up to the engine. Then you can get on to mounting the alternator. But for the sake of this video, I'll show you the orientation for the alternator bolt. So you'll get the alternator bolt in, same length as the others, M10, and the short spacer. And that will just go through there and then just screw into the rear plate. Now once that's in there, the spacer will go at the rear of the alternator will sit to the front, and you will have a correct alignment. Now some of you may opt in for the optional eccentric idler, so that's quite simple. The logo side is the front, you've got your M10 cap screw with a bit of anti-seize and your short spacer, and that will just mount straight into that hole there. Nice and simple. Okay, now to put the bracket on the engine, start by screwing cap screws into the cylinder head. Just get them in there loosely. You may or you may not be able to access this lower cap screw from the front with the front plate on. If that's the case, just take the rear plate off, it's quite easy. Okay, now we have the rear plate fixed to the engine. We're going to set up the alternator. So putting the alternator in, alternator, bolt, and then the spacer goes in. Just remember, spacer behind the alternator. You get that in. Just keep all the bolts loose for now, and we'll work on the adjustment slide down the bottom. So with the adjustment slide, the alternator can actually go inwards past the adjustment slide. this is a way that I've been able to keep the adjustment slide quite short and not make it go past the alternator body itself for tight clearance in engine bays. Although if you need to cheat and you want to put a shorter belt on, you take the cap screw out for the adjustment, let the alternator come back, you can get your belt on and over the edges of the pulleys, then you can put your 5/16 cap screw in the adjustment hole. It works quite nice. So I just put that in, keep it loose for now. On this setup, I'm going to run the eccentric idler pulley. So with the eccentric idler pulley, grab it like that, logo side on the front. And then this is the hole here, the M10 hole for the eccentric idler pulley. Now you want to get that in, but keep it loose for now. And then what we can do is go ahead and start to put our belt on. And then just roll the eccentric idler around the belt. So for now, the belt's on loosely. We can go ahead and start to tighten up the rest of these M10s. Either tighten or just snug them up for now. It's fine. Now there's a couple ways you can do this. You can just leave the adjustment bolt there, or you can pull the alternator and tighten the alternator. Depends on how you want to set things up. Now the belt's still quite loose, so the next step is we're going to do the eccentric idler pulley. Now just roll that in. You can use circlip pliers if you like. Sometimes I find that the idler pulley will actually just work as you're tightening the cap screw, and there you go. The belt's loose enough that you can still rotate at 90 degrees, but it's not too loose and it's not over tight. These setups do not need to be over tight because of this idler pulley. You're taking all the long distances out of the belt, and you'll find the belt's going to run true. It's not going to flap around and it's not going to fly off. Now we can go ahead and just finish tightening the rest of these cap screws up. And that's it. That's the low mount alternator bracket setup.